Hey, I'm Maria Neider, and this is Worth Knowing. We are really focused on summer, from staying hydrated and saving money on those sports drinks to weekend-long festivals that include carnival rides, a duck race, and a hot air balloon festival. So lots to talk about, but first, Carissa is in the studio with some very exciting news to share.
Oh, yeah, yes. My beautiful, wonderful team from Ozarks First, we were at the Missouri Broadcasters Association Awards this past weekend. And what that is, for everyone at home, that's basically like our state awards.
It is.
So it's a big deal.
You see everybody. It's a little bit of a reunion.
A little bit. And we had a good team with us this year. You can see we had Jesse Inman, Matt Hefner, and Chris Penson, Jamie Warner. We won a ton of first place awards. I'm so happy, so proud of our team. We got best weathercast, best podcast, best use of digital media.
Awesome.
And I was lucky enough, blessed enough to go home with 2 awards.
Yes.
So my first award, first place, I got social media star.
All right.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
So,
Carissa.
Thank you. Yes. And then I got second place in hard news reporting.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So those are 2 good ones to get.
I think so. The juxtaposition of the two is
Right.
very interesting, but it's all about balance.
It shows you can do it. Yes.
Trying my best.
Congratulations to you and the Ozarks First team. All right. We got quite a run through of items here, so I'm going to get started with a recap of what we're covering. Employment scams. Watch out for text messages about a job. We'll tell you about the latest scam, then do-it-yourself sports drinks, how to stay hydrated this summer, especially during that heat. We'll show you how to make your own with just 4 ingredients. And then we're going to talk about a new business and that big hot air balloon festival. But first, we're going to start out with that employment texting scam. You want to watch out for this. This one targets anyone looking for a job. Here's Pamela Hernandez with the Better Business Bureau of Southwest Missouri.
Seen a huge rise in employment scams year to year. They've doubled. And they start, for the most part, with the text message. Over half the reports to BBB Scam Tracker about employment scams over the past year have been through text message. And you've probably seen one of these text messages yourself. I know I've received them. Yes. There's a name of somebody, they're a recruiter, or they work for a company we know, like YouTube or Warner Brothers, offering a flexible job, work from home, low hours, high pay. It's funny. I was talking about these with a group of students a few weeks ago, and we were comparing how much they offered. Some of them were like, oh, it's $1,000 a day. Some of them were like, it's $3,000 a day. I've seen up to $15,000 a week for some of these offers. And when folks are looking for jobs, maybe they're new to the job market or they're looking for something flexible, maybe they're already under some sort of financial distress, these things can look very tempting. And so the scammers take advantage of that and start them down this path of task-based work very slowly, offering them jobs to watch videos or leave product reviews for a few dollars here and a few dollars there. And they're given a list of tasks for the day, and they work through those tasks, and everything seems very normal at first. But then the tasks start to go up. They become more and more in value. And to unlock those tasks, they start asking you to put in money. Or you get to a certain point and you're ready to cash out, and then they tell you your balance is negative and you have to invest money to get your money back for the work that you've done.
So the first red flag, I would think, my gut is telling me, if I get a text message about an employment opportunity, isn't that a red flag, Pamela, unless you've reached out to this company in the past? And is that how they get people?
So you're absolutely right. If someone reaches out to you out of the blue, and particularly a text message, offering you a job that you don't remember applying for, that is your first red flag. Now, what gets people, especially folks who are really out there trying to find that entry-level job, is they're applying for a lot of jobs. And sometimes you forget, you lose track. Yeah, you absolutely lose track of that. And so it can seem tempting. You think you maybe did put your resume out on Indeed or LinkedIn, that a recruiter saw that resume is a very plausible thing. But this is not how they're going to reach out to you. Usually my experience has been, both as someone looking for a job and someone hiring for a job, a lot of those conversations with recruiters happen within the platform. Sometimes there's an email, but then they move you to an in-person interview. You're going to talk to somebody. With these task-based scams, you're in. You get into a group with a trainer, and they start getting you ready immediately for this job, just saying you're perfect and we want to get you started as soon as possible.
So the second red flag is no interview. You're just automatically in. And then the third would be they're asking you for money.
Absolutely. You should never have to pay to get paid. You should never have to pay to unlock jobs. So particularly if someone starts out with that, we're going to have you watch videos, we're going to have you like things, we're going to have you leave reviews, and then they start wanting you to pay for that, you absolutely need to get out as soon as possible.
So obviously they're after your money in this case. What would you tell people looking for a job and they're having trouble, and maybe they've run into a few things where it felt like a scam, and so they backed off of it? Where can they go to apply for a job online if they're not looking directly with the company, like other platforms where you would consider it legitimate and safe?
You know, that's a really hard thing to find, because as much as platforms like LinkedIn and Indeed try to block scammers, to weed them out, it's kind of an insidious process. It just keeps happening. So no matter where you're applying for a job, whether it is a legitimate platform or you're going directly to a company website, you still need to do your research and you make sure you vet that person. So let's just say a recruiter does try to connect with you on LinkedIn. Go look for their LinkedIn profile, see what their information says, double check and see if the job is available at the company's website. You know, Amazon is a great example, because unfortunately, some of these recruiters, these scams, they like to impersonate Amazon. If Amazon has a job available, it's going to be on their website, and you go through their process to do that. So the most important thing you can do to ensure your safety, no matter how somebody reaches out to you, no matter where you find that job, is to simply do your research and find out who you're talking to and more about the company. If nothing else, it just makes you sound better in the job interview.
Absolutely. And a local resource we have is the Missouri Career Center.
Absolutely. That's a great place, not only to be able to search, but to search with someone. Getting involved in scams, sometimes isolation is involved. They don't have somebody to talk through a thing. Does this make sense? So if you're working with the team at the job center, not only can they help you find good resources, but if you happen across something that doesn't make sense or doesn't feel right, you can run it past somebody else who's an expert in that field and see what they have to say. We've seen a huge rise in employment scams.
It's a great resource to have, the Better Business Bureau. Thank you very much, Pamela, for that. Just ahead, saving money on sports drinks to stay hydrated during these hot summer days. We'll talk to a local dietitian about staying safe while exercising or just spending time outdoors for an extended period of time. Plus, we'll show you how to make your own sports drink without all of the dyes, additives, and all of that sugar. The 4 ingredients you need right after this. We're kicking off the summer season, so it's pool season, lots of lake time. I'm here at Achieving Your Best with owner and dietitian Cassie Dimmick, which I'm so excited that we're working together again.
Yes, me too. It's so good to see you.
It's great to see you, and it's been a while, so you're going to see her on a regular basis. We're excited about that. We'll talk about all kinds of health topics. There's a lot, but today our big topic is hydration, and this changes with the summer season too.
Absolutely. So when it's hotter and more humid especially, you need more fluid. Yes.
So the 8 glasses of water a day changes?
It does, yes. And especially if you're outside a lot. If you're inside in the AC, it's going to be pretty similar. But often at the lake, at games, you know, when you're outside exercising, doing yard work, all of those things will require more fluid. And I tend to recommend half of your body weight in general at all times in ounces of water. So if you weigh 200 pounds, that would mean 100 ounces of fluid would be your typical intake. So that will really be more accurate than the 8 glasses for everyone. And so people who are, you know, way more need a little bit more water typically. And you can also, everybody's a little different, but exercise, like I said, will affect it as well. And whenever it's hot and humid and you're sweating, then you need more on top of that.
Right. That's a good indication. If you're sweating, then you definitely need to be drinking more. That's your body's way of telling you it's time to refuel what you're losing, right?
Absolutely. And your thirst is helpful, but often we're distracted, we're focusing on other things, and we're not really in tune with our bodies. And so just listening to your thirst can sometimes not be enough.
And sometimes it's too late, right? If you're getting that headache or you're not feeling quite right,
you might already be dehydrated.
Yes, and dehydration can be cumulative. So if you are dehydrated on, the weekend because maybe you're out of routine, and then it's hard to get caught back up. And so having beverages that help you get hydrated faster really can be helpful.
Okay. Well, we have a do-it-yourself sports drink, right? That Cassie's going to walk us through. This is really basic. There are only a handful of ingredients here.
Yes.
And so we're going to show you how to do that. But first, I'd like you to share with people what they need to watch out for when they're buying some of those hydration drinks. There are a lot of energy drinks out there too.
Yeah, and so there are so many products out there.
There are a lot, and it's overwhelming.
It is overwhelming. And so one of the things to watch for is just how much they cost, because these ingredients are so inexpensive. And even just an electrolyte powder, for example, that really just has mainly salts and some other electrolytes in it, can be very expensive if you look at how much you're spending over the year. And it's very simple to make. So price is one thing, and then other ingredients as well is another thing that you can look for. So what sweetener are they using? And
the sugar.
yes, and I like to use more natural things like honey and maple syrup if I'm going to sweeten something. And really the sweetened part of it, or the carb part of it, is only necessary if you are being very active. So you can get electrolytes in water and lemon juice, which that's what's so nice about this recipe, is you can.
That's all it is.
Yes, that's really all it is salt and lemon juice. And you can leave the honey out if you maybe are just watching something outside or not very active. Or maybe if you have blood sugar issues. So you can really make this your own and adjust. Nice. And then you can add in some honey, which is going to help you hydrate, but is also going to help keep your blood sugar up if you are active. So yeah.
How important is the salt? How does this play a role in that, and what kind of salt do we have here?
This is sea salt. So it looks kind of different, but you can use Himalayan pink salt, you can use regular just table salt, whatever you want to use.
Whatever you have.
Yes, because really the biggest electrolyte that you're losing in sweat is sodium.
Okay.
And so that's what we're really focused on replacing, and then we're going to get some other electrolytes like potassium, from your lemon juice, and and you can do, again, Himalayan pink salt has a lot of different minerals.
That's what I was going to say, the difference there, because I remember us talking about that.
So,
if you use Himalayan pink salt, you're just getting a little bit extra.
Right, exactly.
Minerals.
But just really using anything you have is going to give you the sodium that you need, which is the most important thing for muscle cramping and hydration. Right. And so your body can be hydrated with just plain water over a day's time. So it's not like water doesn't work at all. It does work, especially if you're having it with foods that have salt and other electrolytes in it. But if you're wanting to hydrate yourself quickly, maybe you're a little behind, or you don't really like drinking plain water, this is a great alternative, because this will hydrate you faster, because your body doesn't have to pull electrolytes in to absorb the fluid in your stomach.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so because just plain water, you actually have to take electrolytes so you can absorb it. Okay. And so, and one of the best hydrators actually is milk, which is so interesting. I always like to throw that fact out there.
I must have forgotten if you've told me that.
And so, and obviously it's not something you're going to want to drink outside in the heat.
Right.
Typically.
Here's me with my milk partner.
Yes, but if you are active or you're really behind, drinking milk is better than sports drink, better than electrolyte water.
Is that why runners have the chocolate milk?
That's one of the reasons.
Okay.
Yes. So yes, that's one of the reasons that chocolate milk is really popular with runners. So it rehydrates them, and it also replenishes their glycogen stores or their stored fuel. Yeah.
Okay.
So just a little tidbit out there. So
all right. I like to throw in the curveball of the milk.
So, but right now, again, we're talking about waters, and this is something that, like I said, you can do in the summertime. So I'm very active, and so I will put a little bit of salt in my water often in the summer.
This is natural, and that's another thing, budget friendly.
Right.
Everything is so expensive right now.
Yes.
So we have honey, we have your sea salt, water, and how much is in here?
That's half a cup of lemon juice.
Of freshly squeezed.
Yes.
Look at you. Okay.
Yeah, squeeze that
Thank you for doing that. Okay.
Just for so, and this is 2 cups of water. I like to do mason jars just because you can shake it up in the mason jar. And you can put it in your fridge, and it kind of looks pretty.
Yeah.
So 2 cups of water, and you can just pour that lemon juice right in there.
Okay.
Now I like a lot of lemon juice. You can adjust this to taste as well.
Okay. How many lemons did you say?
So it's about 1.5.
Okay.
So but you can. I was trying to make it exact. I'm not that exact,
I'm
so
not
I just
either.
would
I'll
put both of them in there.
Yes.
And this is 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and
Just
so
a
just
fourth?
a little. Yep.
And does it
so
heaping or
not
level it off?
You
Not
wanna
heaping.
Level.
Okay.
There you go.
That's good.
Yep, that's
Okay.
perfect. Perfect. And then again, you can just do that and without any honey if you're thinking, I'm just wanting to hydrate myself. So it just kind of depends. So, and I literally, like you'll see, I just like hover a little bit and then that's it. So and it's not even a full teaspoon, but it just kind of takes a little bit of the edge off from the lemon juice.
Yeah.
Yes. So
It's not so tart.
Right.
And make a mess. Although I've tasted this, we've done this before.
Yeah. So, and again, you can add more or less honey.
I would add more honey.
But it's good. And I like things that are tart. So I do too. You better too. And I like a lot of lime juice. Yeah. And again, you can make this how you want. Usually people on the recipe, you'll see, 1/2 a tablespoon honey or, and so I added probably less, 1/8 of a teaspoon, so the recipe will post. Right. Yes. So sweet. It'll be, yes. And so, but the nice thing, like I said about this is it's not going to have as much sugar as a lot of the sports drinks that are out there. Cassie, thank you so much. And I'll share the recipe online and on social media. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
A gorgeous new restaurant just celebrated its grand opening in Springfield, and it's already turning heads with its stunning entryway. I'm talking about Scratch & Co., and we have some video from 417 Magazine. They were there at the soft opening this past week. Incredible. It's just already a wow when you walk through the front there. Carissa, look at the mural on the outside.
Oh my goodness, that was beautiful. Everything inside too is just incredible looking.
Every detail.
Yeah, it looks like a speakeasy to me.
It does. It has that vibe, just aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah,
and they really thought it out.
They really did. And those two murals done by local artists, Samantha Cox and Andrea, is that Earhart, I believe?
I think that's a good guess.
Okay. Trying my best. Apologies to Andrea. But yeah, this restaurant's on the first floor of that 10-story Plaza Towers building at Sunshine and Glenstone. So yeah, can't miss it. You really can't.
You can't, and I'm sure it's going to be packed as people check it out. So they are officially open now. And one of the owners, Steve Belden, you actually work out with him, by the way. We discovered that.
I do. I work out with the owner at Scratch & Co. So, yeah, he owns a couple of other things over there on the Plaza Towers.
The coffee place that's new there.
Yep, that newer coffee place as well. So, got to chat with him at the gym and then again at Think Summit. And now for this, I got to go into Scratch & Co. see him again.
You've got to check it out.
Yeah, it seems really cool.
I'm excited to go there. Also, here's a look at some of the murals. There were the two local artists. I wonder how long this took them.
Oh my
to do.
goodness, that's beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the menu, everything is made from scratch. So on site, Scratch & Co., with the exception of some rolls and buns, I believe, and I read that on SBJ. So their vision for this is really exciting, to have a new location and also a new rooftop patio hotspot.
And we need that in
We
Springfield.
do.
We only have a few, and they
I
are
know.
so popular.
They're always busy. So that should open, I hear, in the next 6 weeks or so.
Yeah.
And I imagine reservations for that space are going to be like, it's going to fill up quickly.
Through the roof.
Yes, through the roof. That would be a good way to put it. Everything made in-house. And then the desserts, a number of them are going to be made by a local company, Charmingly Cheesecake. At least half of the dessert options on the menu. So it's really wonderful.
Yeah.
They have, I believe, 60 on staff. So great, local jobs.
Yeah.
And then they'll be indoors and doing the rooftop as well. Super exciting. And I read that he had said he wanted to elevate the dining experience in the Springfield area. He felt that it had been lacking, the customer service. And, you hear that when you go out, and especially when people are having trouble with the workforce, after COVID. So I think this is really exciting to have this in our area.
Yeah, I think that fast casual dining is coming back. Maybe not coming back, or they're trying it out, because this does remind me a little bit of the table as well.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that fast, casual but elevated type of dining.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
The food is great.
Yeah.
But you don't feel like you have to get too dressed up for it. Although, of course, you can and have
Yeah.
special occasions there.
Well, and looks
Yeah.
like it's beautiful enough to take pictures in. If you
Yes.
wanted to get cute, have like a nice little dinner, you
Yeah.
can wear whatever you wanted to, and it looks awesome.
It does.
Yeah.
Congratulations to them. It already looks like a huge success. So that's something that I've got to put on my list for worth a try for sure. Here are the hours: Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Friday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and then Sunday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. And this is at the corner of Sunshine and Glenstone. The Plaza Towers, the restaurant is on the first floor.
Very cool.
Also happening, that's pretty big news in Christian County, the annual Duck Race Festival. This is huge, Carissa.
Oh, yeah.
You've been?
I've never been.
Okay.
I've seen video.
You know,
though. I
because you've covered it. The
Yes.
station has covered it.
Yes.
Parking is always a nightmare, frankly.
Yeah.
So you got to get there early. But this is a big festival, and they've made it even bigger. They've added carnival rides to it. We were joking, how can it get any bigger? Because it just is so crowded in Finley River Park in Ozark. But they're bringing
they
in the
found a
carnival
way.
rides. Yes. So it's going to kick off June 18th with the carnival, and then the duck race is Saturday. There's the hot air balloon glow, and I do have video of that. This is from the last couple of years. Summer's already hot. Wait till you're hanging out as these guys are filling up these hot air balloons. It really is pretty. Everyone brings out the kids. This is another great photo op. People, I think the cell service is a big issue though, because
Oh,
people
I'm
are all
sure.
trying to go live on
Yeah.
whatever platform, but it is beautiful.
It
is a
does.
fun
Yeah, it
event.
looks beautiful.
I feel like there's something for everyone. They have the craft festival going on as well. And we have how many of these graphics to show? How many of the flyers? We have quite a few.
Plenty, yeah.
So this is the website, the Sertoma Club, for sertoma.com, I believe. And there's the Duck Race Festival at the top. You have a chance to win a truck. You know what? I threw you off, Tyler. Can you go back to the part where you can adopt a duck so we can show people? There you go.
Wow.
Carissa, because I'm back here from the screen, so if you click on that, there are different levels that you have a chance to win the truck there, the Chevy truck.
Yeah. It looks like for the tickets, I mean, if you want one ticket, it's $10. For a family, that's 6 tickets, $50. For a flock, 13 tickets, $100. So you do get to save some there.
Yeah, you just increase your chances of winning that truck. And then there are
Yeah.
lots of prizes if you don't win the grand prize.
Oh yeah, plenty of that, and plenty of stuff to do as well. Because the duck race is on Saturday, but this whole festival starts. I want to say, is it Thursday or Friday?
Thursday is when it starts with the carnival, and then let me go to that real quick. There's so much information, so you really do have to check out this website. They have wristbands for sale, so you can ride all the rides, and that's $30 at the Signal Station, a Signal Station in Ozark or Nixa, or Hometown Sports. It's right off the Ozark Square. So $30. Or you have to buy tickets, and then that's $1 a ticket. And some of the rides, they're like 4 to 5 tickets a ride. So a better deal if you get that wristband in advance.
Yeah.
Thursday kicks off with the carnival, and then we have the balloon glow June 19th, the duck race, and then it all ends in fireworks. That's June 20th, and this is all happening at Finley River Park in Ozark. All the details at 4csertoma.com.
Yeah, lots of fun. Can't forget about the fireworks.
Yeah.
It's a good way to end it.
Yes, the big celebration this summer with America's 250th birthday. So all the fireworks we can get would be wonderful. Lots of sunblock and stay hydrated. That do-it-yourself sports drink is amazing.
Perfect for
Yes,
this. Yeah.
really good. That's what's worth knowing this week. Take care, everybody.